What's up, guys? We're here for the Week 4 fantasy review. Normally, these come out on Wednesdays. I have a game I have to do tomorrow night, so we're getting it a day earlier. Just won't be able to cover the first waiver processes for the week, but we'll see how that goes tomorrow. So to start, we have my matchup versus Michael here. I took him out 120 to 77, so not a really close matchup there. I had 5 players in double digits. Drew Brees with 19, Devonta Freeman with 15, Bilal Powell with 27 points, Keenan Allen with 16, and Terrell Pryor got me basically 15. Nothing else to really speak of in my matchup. Nothing else, or at least on my team. Nothing else on my bench. A couple guys on the bench weren't even active this week. For the most part, everybody did pretty decent on my team. Brandon Cooks only got me 6, though. I only got 2 out of the Ravens defense, so a couple struggle guys there. If we look over at Michael's team, he had 3 players in double digits. He also had 3 double-digit scores on his bench. He had Stafford, who had 10 points. Mike Evans had 15, and the Seahawks defense gave him 22. Some of the sore spots in his lineup: DeMarco Murray with 5, Marshawn Lynch with 1, Sanders got him 5, Jason Witten got him 1. That's about it. If I actually had 4, all the guys on his bench scored in double digits. I'm sorry about that. He had Cam Newton on the bench who had 33, so he could have had a 23-point swing playing Cam over Stafford there. James White had 10 on his bench. Bills defense with 13, so that didn't matter. He played the right defense there. Cooper Kupp had 15. Wendell Smallwood was 16, so he definitely could have increased his chances at winning and definitely would have made it a game. I'm not quite sure he would have quite got the win, but would have definitely made things a lot more interesting this week. So that moves me up to 3-1 and moves Michael down to 2-2. He's on a 2-game losing streak currently. I believe currently there is a 5-way tie for first place with 5 teams at 3-1. The next matchup here we're going to look at is Philip versus George. Philip won this one fairly easy, 130 to 66. We'll start by looking at George's team here. He only had basically 3 players in double digits: Gore with 10, Odell Beckham with 13, and Zach Ertz with 11. He did have Eli Manning on the bench, who had 28, and Trevor Siemian also on the bench, who had 12. So either guy would have gave him some more points over playing Matt Ryan. Obviously, I'm not sure I would have done anything different, but the Buffalo Bills defense is a very good pass defense so far this year, and it didn't help that Matt Ryan lost his top 2 receivers during that game to injury as well. Some sore spots in his lineup. Stewart gave him 5. Matt Ryan gave him 9. Baldwin only 7. It's not horrible there. Ted Ginn with 4. Travis Benjamin with 3. Panthers defense with 1. And then I already talked about the guys on his bench who played pretty well for him. We'll look over here at Phillips' team. He had 6 players in double digits, starting with Cousins, who had 21, Todd Gurley with 31, Tevin Coleman with 16, A.J. Green with 15, Kelvin Benjamin with 12, Charles Clay with 14. He also had Alex Smith on the bench, who had 27, so he could have got a few more points there. No real sore spots in his lineup. His kicker got 4, but it's kind of up and down. You can't really worry too much about that. See, the next matchup we have here is Garrett versus Phil. Phil won this one 119 to 107. So this was one of the closer matchups of the week. We'll start here by looking at Garrett's team. Garrett had only 3 players in double digits, although they all did have over 20. Russell Wilson with 28. Devin Funchess with 23, Travis Kelce with 21. Did have some points on the bench with Mike Wallace with 15, Bernard with 15, and Roethlisberger had 11, so definitely played the right quarterback there. Some sore spots in his lineup. Melvin Gordon got him 3. Jay Ajayi was 6. Garcon was 6. Jermaine Kearse with 4. McCaffrey only got 7. His kicker got him 2 points. If we look over here at Phil's team, Phil had Aaron Rodgers with 24. Lamar Miller had probably his best game of the season with 27. Dalvin Cook gave him 12. And we all know Cook is out for the season now with a torn ACL. Chris Hogan got him 15. Jacquizz Rodgers with 12. We'll see if Rodgers can keep some playing time or at least maybe even split a timeshare there now that Doug Martin will be back off his suspension. He had Broncos defense with 10. Nothing really to speak of on his bench. Did have Derek Carr on the bench who's got 10, and we all know he's going to be out for what they are guessing is going to be 2 to 6 weeks with a minor fracture in his spine. He did have a couple guys throw up some bad games. Tyreek Hill with 6, Antonio Brown with 5, Delaney Walker got him basically 7. His kicker only got him 3. So, see what's up next. We have David versus Dalton. Dalton won this matchup 147-95, so another blowout game. Most of them were like that this week. Start by looking at David's team here. He had 3 guys in double digits. Dak Prescott with 23. Randall Cobb with 12. Texans defense got him 22. Phil Dawson got him 15. Some sore spots in his lineup. Chris Thompson only got him a point. Julio Jones with 5. Demaryius Thomas with 2. Sammy Watkins with 2. Jesse James got him 6. It's really not that bad for him, I guess. On his bench, T.Y. Hilton only got 5 points. He had Terrence West on the bench. Luckily, he actually got negative -0.7. If we look over here at Dalton's team, he had 8 players get double digits this week. He was one of the higher scorers in the league. Mariota got 16, even though he left the game with a hamstring issue. Carlos Hyde with 12. Jordy Nelson with 22. DeAndre Hopkins with 22. Stephon Diggs with 12. Gronk with 10. Devontae Parker with 10. Greg Zuerlein, who I believe he made 7 field goals this week, had 27 points. So that's probably going to be the high-scoring kicker on the season, for a game, I believe. On his bench, he even had Alvin Kamara with 21, Tyrell Williams with 20. So, he even had points that he could add to his already pretty decent score there. Some of his players did get hurt. Chris Carson is out for a while with, I believe, a broken leg. Carlos Hyde, it looks like he's questionable. I don't know what's wrong with him. I just see the Q next to his name there. I'm sure he'll be fine. And like I said, Mariota's got the hamstring injury. I know he's day-to-day, and they already stated he will be a game-time decision come Sunday. I own him in another league, so got to pay attention to that. Next, we have Dakota, who led the league in scoring this week with 163 over Ray, who put up 130. So even though Ray's team is 1-3, and dealt with a lot of injuries, losing his number 1 pick, his team is still putting up some points. He's just been unfortunate playing some of the higher scores. If we look at Ray's team, he had 7 players in double digits. So solid outing by his guys. Carson Wentz with 15, Leonard Fournette with 23, C.J. Anderson with 13, Amendola with 13, Will Fuller with 18, Andre Ellington with 15. Lions defense got him 13. Did have Amir Abdullah on the bench with 18, so he could have got a couple more points there. Really only one dud in his lineup, which was Amari Cooper, who only got 2 points there. If we look over at Dakota's lineup, he had 8 players in double digits. Winston had 27, Le'Veon Bell with 33, Ezekiel Elliott with 28, Des Bryant with 12, Fitzgerald with 11, Michael Thomas with 19, Kareem Hunt with 14, and Gostkowski got him 15. He had LeGarrette Blount on the bench who had 16. only dud in his lineup was his Buccaneers defense, who got a -1. Nothing else really to speak of there. Obviously, his team is pretty solid. With maybe the 3 best running backs in the NFL. That are healthy. Also, with David Johnson out, so his team's gonna be tough to beat. He obviously has some weak points, and I'm sure most people know at this point he's tried to address those weak points with sending numerous trade offers, but nobody's bit the bullet yet to help him out there. And then the last matchup we have here to discuss is something that doesn't happen very often in our league because we do fractional scoring or decimal scoring, however you want to say it. But we have a tie between Ray Lego Sr., our defending champ, and Joseph at 75.4 points. This came down to the very last game as Ray Sr. had Jordan Reed in his lineup. So, if somebody could have got an extra yard, it would have helped out, swayed a win or loss one way or the other. We don't have any tiebreakers in this league because it's just not something we see very often is getting a tie. So the tie will stand. There's ties in the NFL, so we'll deal with it. We'll start by looking at Ray Sr.'s team here. He had 3 players in double digits this week. Tom Brady with 21, Jordan Howard with 13, and Packers defense with 10. Did have Duke Johnson on the bench, who had basically 17 points there. So that could have definitely swayed things for him. Vernon Davis on the bench had 10. Decided to play Jordan Reed, who got him 3.6. If we look over here at Joseph's team, Joseph had 4 players in double digits. Tyrod Taylor with 13, McCoy with 12, Alshon Jeffrey with 10, and the Jaguars defense with 10. Did have some points on the bench. He also had an injury during the week. Well, actually, both of them did. Ray Sr. lost Mohamed Sanu during the game, and Joseph lost Ty Montgomery during his game. Joseph did have Chris Johnson on the bench, who had 7.8. Could have thrown him in the lineup over Gillislee or Montgomery. Would have got a few more points there. Could have put John Brown in there. Would have swayed things in his favor. You just obviously you never know. But looking at things now, we can obviously see that. And outside of George's team, Ray Sr. and Joseph were the 2 lowest scoring teams outside of George. So in a way, they're kind of lucky they tied. It's better than losing because literally, they had played anybody else besides George, they would have taken the L this week. So that does it for the Week 4 review. When you guys watch the video, there will be new power rankings on the league page, so check that out. Let me know what you think. And, obviously get your waiver claims in. We have waivers processing tomorrow at noon. I look forward to see who gets who this week. There's a lot of injuries. Obviously, it's the first bye week for a few teams in the league, so people are going to have to make adjustments accordingly. I'll be kind of curious to see who drops who and who will be available, later on this week to pick up off waivers as well. Best of luck to everybody, and see you next time.